Deviation due to hard iron is compensated by permanent magnets. The animation shows how positive P, positive Q, and negative Q are corrected. Deviation due to vertical soft iron, VSI, compensated by VSI Flinders Bar. The amount of VSI for the Flinders Bar is estimated based on experience. For this reason, the VSI comes in various sizes. The last piece of the VSI must be in line with the compass. Deviation due to horizontal soft iron, HSI. Corrector. Deviation due to horizontal soft iron, HSI, is compensated by HSI, soft iron spheres. Effect. The spheres have a positive E effect and a negative A effect, and correct for the excess negative E over negative A on a merchant ship. Fore and aft corrector magnets. To correct force P, find the deviation on an easterly heading and then on a westerly heading. Reverse the sign of the deviation on the westerly heading. Find the mean deviation for both headings, and then correct the mean deviation with a F and A magnet after correcting for an estimated induced B. Induced B is estimated by the adjuster, corrects for negative CZ. To correct for the deviation, head the vessel on east magnetic and insert F&A magnets, red end forward, to correct for a deviation of 2.25 degrees east. Athwartship's corrector magnets. To correct for force Q, find the deviation on a northerly heading and then on a southerly heading. Reverse the sign of the deviation on the southerly heading. Find the mean deviation for both headings, and then correct the mean deviation with an athwartship's magnet. It is assumed induced C is 0 degrees in a well-placed compass. To correct for the deviation, head the vessel on north magnetic and insert athwartship's magnets red end to starboard to correct for a deviation of 2.25 degrees east. Correction for induced C. If the compass is not symmetrical about the F and A line, the vessel will have an induced C. For example, say the compass is situated to port in relation to the ship's center line. For correction, the Flinders Bar is slewed to port at an angle equal to tangent of slew to M equals induced C over induced B. Soft iron spheres. When the compass is installed on board the vessel, the spheres are in mid-position on its brackets. Deviation to correct for coefficient D is found with the vessel heading northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. Note, the deviations on southeasterly and northwesterly headings are reversed to find the mean deviation. Note: the spheres are designed in such a manner that they have a positive E1 and a negative A1 effect when placed athwart ships. The spheres alter the total A effect to a negative A2 effect on the vessel. They also alter the negative E effect of the vessel to a positive E2 effect. To correct, the spheres are moved in with the vessel heading northeast for a mean easterly deviation, positive D. However, if the mean deviation is westerly, it would indicate a negative D. In this case, the spheres are moved out. Correction for coefficient E. In a well-placed compass, coefficient E is absent. If present, the spheres are slewed to correct. To find coefficient E, find the deviation on northerly, southerly, easterly, and westerly headings. Reverse the sign of the deviation on the easterly and westerly headings to find the mean deviation. Slew the spheres to correct for coefficient E. Correctors. To correct coefficient E, the spheres are slewed. Angle of slew is tangent of twice slew angle equals E over D. The animation shows how the spheres are slewed for correcting a positive D and a positive E. To correct for other values of D and E, in other words, a negative D and a positive E, the spheres would be slewed between north and northwest and southeast. The other slew positions for the spheres for other values of D and E are shown in the graphic. Healing error correctors. Vertical magnets below the compass correct the effects of force R, EZ, and KZ. Healing error correction will be explained in another topic. Flinders Bar corrects CZ, in addition produces an E effect and a K effect. Spheres corrects the excess negative E over negative A and also corrects the A and the E effect of Flinders Bar. Healing error magnets compensate for R, KZ, and EZ, and the K effect of the Flinders Bar. Permanent magnets, fore and aft to correct the force P, and athwart ships to correct the force Q.